So this is Maryland 3, practice test or practice midterm Maryland 3. So as always, the first tab is what you will see on the actual midterm. Remember that you will need to submit all your Excel files. You need to put in your last 2 digits of your student number, your name, and M if you are in the morning class, and E if you are in the evening class. Do this always before you start the complete Excel file. You insert the complete Excel file. If you forget, you will not get graded, or you will not get a mark for this midterm. For MD sales tab, you see store number, the zip code, the sales in the city, and the city. So for instance, in the city of Hyatt Silver Spring, there's at least these 2 locations. They each made $98. And there's different zip codes because, well, Toronto has multiple postal codes, right? So it's the same thing as in the US. You have the population tab with 2 columns, A and B with city. C is state, D is population, and E is a Chinese proportion. So in the city of Baltimore, 0.167 proportion of Chinese. That's 16.7% of the population is Chinese. And in the gender tab, you have gender proportion in 2 years. So for instance, in the city of Bel Air in 2013, for every 84 women, there were 100 men. In 2023, expected proportion is 0.92. For every 92 women, there are 100 men. All right. Let's look at question 1. For cities with more than 130 Chinese population, which is the city with the second highest amount of sales? Well, we need to create a pivot table first of all. So select this table, pivot table, drag city and sales. All right, make sure sales is in sum, not count or average or anything like that. We need to add the Chinese population. Well, we need total population, Chinese proportion Chinese, and of course I know how to spell my ethnicity, so let's just add an E there. Okay, so population is in this tab. We need to copy this into a new file, and then use VLOOKUP from that new file. Otherwise, it will give you a lot of errors if you're looking up from a different sheet in the same file. So let me create a new file first of all. Alright, and let me just save it. Let me just call it book 1. Okay, so I need to copy this table, put it in the new sheet, in the new file actually. Okay, so back to the main sheet. Total population, VLOOKUP, A4, and the total population. Now, here's a bit of a tricky thing. Notice that there's columns A and B with both cities. So if I select all columns, including A and B, population is in 4 columns over, right? Whereas if I just select column B, C, and D without selecting column A, population is 3 columns over. So just watch out for that. I'm only selecting B, C, D here, so population is 3 columns over. Comma 3, comma O. Done. Chinese population is the same. Here it is 4 columns over, depending on whether or not you select column A. There we go. Copy and paste. And let's find the total Chinese population. So which is just C4 multiplied by B4, right? And just copy and paste. Since there cannot be, let's say in Aberdeen, 369.6, there cannot be 6/10 of a person, whatever the person's ethnicity. So let's just reduce that to no decimals, to whole values. There we go. Okay. Question 1. Cities with more than 130 Chinese population, what is the city with the second highest amount of sales? Well, we have this information. We cannot do a sort because this is from a pivot table. So let's copy this table and paste it in a new sheet as values. Now we can do the proper sorting. Filter. Total Chinese population is Z. More than 130, right? So greater than 130. Greater than 130, not greater than or equal to, but greater than. Notice that it's also showing in decimals. We don't care right now, but just remember that you need to round it up to whole values. And what is the city with the second highest amount of sales? So we sort by sales, which is in column B, largest to smallest. And we see it is the city of Frederick. Sales is 84035. 84035. And the percentage of the entire population in the city compared to the state. Okay, so Frederick population has 1,393 people. You cannot just add up the entire population in column C because not all cities may have a store. If a city does not have a store, it will not show up in this file, but there would still be people in that city, right? So empty population tab. We need the total population from this tab, which is in column D. So, well, it's already added up for you actually. So let's just make sure it's the right number, 218743. Sum equals D to D100, perfect. 218743. So let's just put it down right here, 218743. Under column C, back in the main, when we pasted the pivot table's values, column C is the population. At the bottom, put down 218743. Now, notice a few things. Because we pivoted, right? I should say we filtered it to total Chinese, right? So let's remove the filter, just to have a clean data set. Remove, clear. Let me remove the highlight as well. Okay. So 218743. Let's put it. It's right now in 102. Let's put it in the row 101. And we have sales, total sales in column B as well, so which is good. But so these total numbers is in row 101. Just remember that, row 101. Okay. Percentage of population equals C2 divided by C $1Y. So what this is saying is that in the city of Rockville, the population of 2030, divide that by the total population in the state, which is in C $101. What is that? And it's 0.00928. Let's copy and paste that for all the cities. And the one we need is Rockville, not Rockville, but Frederick. And the percentage of the population is 0.0064. So 0.006368, reduce it down to 4 decimal places, is 0.0064. 0.0064. There we go. That's question 1. Question 2. Cities where the expected gender proportion is in 2023 is 0.99 or less. Which city has the highest sales per population index? Okay. Let's go back to this file that we created. We've removed all the filters. Let's just make sure we remove the filters. Let's create 2 new columns, 2013 gender and 2023 gender. Where can we grab this? From the MD gender tab. But since we cannot VLOOKUP from a different tab, let's copy it and paste it to the new file that we created as a new sheet. Then we can use VLOOKUP properly. So VLOOKUP, looking up the city name A2, 2013 gender is 2 columns over, right? So comma 2, comma O. 2023 gender is 3 columns over. Comma 3, comma O. There we go. Let's copy and paste. Okay, let's go back to the question. For cities where the expected gender proportion in 2023 is 0.99 or less. Well, so we now need to filter this new table that we created, right? So let's apply the filter again. In 2023, filter is 0.9 or less. So less than or equal to, less than or equal to 0.99. Okay. Which city has the highest sales per population index? Now we need to know the index. So we have the percentage of sales. Oh, we don't yet. We have the percentage of population in column F. We need the percentage of sales. So in the city of Rockville, $108 in sales. As a percentage of all the sales across all the cities is what? That's what we need. So let's create a new column, percentage of sales. And percentage of total sales is, let's see. See, it's already, this is still filtered because I haven't removed the gender filter yet. Let's do that. So let's clear the filter. There we go. And the total sales is in B101, right? Total population is in C101. Total sales is B101. So in here it would be B2 divided by B $101. So 108 divided by the total sales is what? 0.0426. Let's copy and paste. For all the cities, the index in 2023, and assuming there's no change in the population, it's just the percentage of sales in 2020. Well, what is it? Is it asking? Yeah, percentage of sales in 2021, obviously, right? 2013, sorry. So which is in the column that we just created, I2 divided by the population. It's just F2. There we go. So the index is always percentage of sales divided by the percentage of population. And let's copy and paste. So let's filter again. Gender is well, see, column I and J has no drop down because these are two new columns we created after we filtered. So let's clear the filter and add it again. Then we can do gender proportion. Less than for 2023 is less than or equal to 0.99. Okay. Which city has the highest sales per population index? All right. So index, we just need to sort. Silver Spring. Index value of 90.6480. 90.6480. Remember that we are rounding, right? So 90.64797 is 6480. Entire percentage of population in the city compared to state. We already have that, which is 0.0008. 0.0008. Done. Staying with cities with an expected gender proportion of 20.9 or less, suppose that if the Chinese population is more than 130, sales will increase by 10%. Otherwise, sales will decrease by 10%. Okay, let's take a look. We have this data set. Let's clear the filter. And let's say 2023 sales. Let's create a new column. If what? If the Chinese population, which is in E, right? If E2 is greater than 130, sales in 2013, which is in B2, will increase by 10%. Otherwise, sales will decrease by 10%. So if E2 is greater than 130, B2 multiplied by 1.1, otherwise B2 multiplied by 0.9. Take a look. Well, Silver Spring, this is the answer that we get for Silver Spring. This number, 165393, is smaller than 183771. So it seems like that our mathematical formula is correct. So let's copy and paste. Now we probably want this to 2 decimal places, so let's increase the number of decimal places. Select this row, increase the decimal places by under general, increase the decimal places. You can reduce it, but we want to increase it to 2, just in case. Question 3, gender proportion of 0.99 or less. So we need to apply the gender proportion once again, 0.99 or less. Less than or equal to 0.99. There we go. Which city with the highest predicted sales? So looking at the sales in 2023, it doesn't have the drop down box, so let's clear the filter and add it again. So we need to do the gender proportion filter once again. 2023 sales, sort largest to smallest, right? Highest predicted sales in 23, yes. The answer is, again, Silver Spring. Predicted 2023 sales would be 165,393.90. 165,393. Okay. Here, it's asking us to insert whole values. So it will be 165,394, right? If you round it to whole values. If you want to double check, you can use Excel to round it to whole decimals, whole values, but you can do it in your minds, I'm sure. So, yep. So questions 2 and 3, the answer is Silver Spring. All right. Question 4, consider only cities where the gender proportion in 2023 is expected to be greater than 1.01. Total number of Chinese population. Okay. Sheet 4. Let's clear all the filters. Clear. Now, asking us to filter to 1.01. The gender proportion in 2023 is greater than 1.01. Not greater or equal to, but greater than 1.01. So, gender proportion is in column H. We're going to filter it to greater than 1.01. Again, not greater than or equal to, but greater than 1.01. Now we want to add up the Chinese population, which is in this column. Remember, we cannot add this column up here in this sheet because it could pose problems, especially for Mac users. So in the city of Annapolis, 61, 62 Chinese people. Then it jumps to row 6, Baltimore, with 123. Because the city in row 5 has less than, the proportion of gender is less than 1.01. But if you add this column up, it may include the city in row 5 and in other hidden cities if you are an Apple user. So what I would suggest is to just copy this table, create a new sheet. New sheet is fine. You could also put in the new file, paste as values. Let's just have a clean sheet. We've already sorted to gender, right? Filtered to gender proportion to 1.01 or higher, right? So now we just need, so it's fine. So now we just add up the total Chinese population, which is 7170, rounding. 7170, rounded, and indicate total sales. Total sales, well, 2023 is that question 4 is asking about 2023, right? So back to the sheet. Total sales in 2023 is in row K, column K, sorry, and you add it up, it is 608,433. 608,433. And there you go. These are the answers for Maryland 3. Maryland 3.